As Neville Goddard once observed, you would be master of your fate if you assumed the feeling of your wish fulfilled more frequently. The majority of his life's work may be summed up by this phrase. He is well known for believing in the power of assumption and imagination. Although you've probably heard of ideas like the power of manifestation and the law of assumption, if you're still reading this, there's a good chance you still have some doubts. Have you ever wondered if there could be a force so strong that it could make your dreams come true? Is the law of assumption a well-founded principle, or is it just conjecture? Let us go out on a quest to solve the puzzles surrounding this intriguing idea today. This law pushes us to investigate the limitless power that resides within our brains and challenges us to reevaluate our preconceived views about manifestation. Is the law of assumption a real force that molds our reality? Is the key question. Is this just wishful thinking, though? As we dive into this investigation, we'll talk about the mystery of the rule of assumption and everything it encompasses. We're about to find out. Don't forget to keep an eye out. We begin from the beginning of it all. Without giving due credit to the visionary who laid the path, Neville Goddard, we are unable to comprehend the rule of assumption. Who is Neville Goddard, then? Neville Goddard, who was born in Barbados in 1905, was a pioneer in the field of manifestation in addition to being a mystic. His teachings, which were based on mystical interpretations of biblical ideas, struck a chord with truth seekers everywhere. Through his travels, Neville investigated the transformational potential of assumption, and his insights are still heard down the ages. Among all of Goddard's ideas, they have endured the longest and have the greatest bearing on our subject today. First, reality is created by imagination. Neville was a strong proponent of the imagination's capacity for creativity. He used to say, "Assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled," highlighting the idea that your experiences are shaped by your ability to imagine. Neville's lessons revolved around the idea of presumption, the notion that if we assume that our wants are already met, then we will be in alignment with the energy required for manifestation. Consider this. How would you feel if you already had that amount of money, that job, that romantic connection, or that ideal trip? If I was really at peace, how would it feel? Track down that sensation, that actuality. Visualize it, cling to it, and make purposeful decisions that reflect that reality. Accept that as fact and see how everything else works itself out. Neville also advocated for psychologically residing in the position of having already accomplished our goals, thereby living in the outcome of our wishes. When we change our awareness, we draw experiences that align with those changes. You must therefore gradually learn to write your own version of reality. Neville promoted the practice of mentally programming our ideas and inner dialogues through the use of inner dialogues. We write the script for our lives and have an impact on the outside world. As absurd as it may sound, he also thought that imagination might be used to rewrite history. We may change the way that past experiences affect us now and in the future by rewriting and reinventing them. The law of assumption still forms the foundation of everything we have just covered, making it one of his most significant lessons. When you're young, life is initially viewed through a highly distorted yet lovely lens. You have an enormous sense of wonder, curiosity, and inventiveness. What makes the sky blue? The grass is green. Why is that? Do the far-off mountains harbor hobbits? Can a unicorn be touched? These, the meanderings of a child's wild imaginations, likely comprise some of our earliest and final encounters with genuine enchantment and wonder. But as we grew older, our ability to see and experience this wonder decreased. The color of the grass and sky ceased to captivate you. Santa turned into a ludicrous, humorous figure, and the reason for everything ceased to be more than a passing thought. We lost the ability to reimagine the world in our own unique ways somewhere along the road. We made the mistake of assuming that our lives could turn out exactly how we desired. Now that you have a better understanding of Neville Goddard's knowledge, you are essentially aware of the main points of his teachings. Now let's explore the law of assumption, which lies at the heart of our investigation. What precisely is it? The understanding that our assumptions, attitudes, and beliefs shape our reality is the fundamental component of the law of assumption. Neville Goddard challenged us to go beyond wishful thinking and embrace the idea that our goals are not just attainable, but already fulfilled. Consider sowing a seed in rich soil. The presumption is that your desire is being nurtured by the soil until it blossoms into your lived experience. Living from the outcome is more important than just hoping for it. Put simply, It's the idea that you have to imagine the sensation or state of affairs that you want. This fact will find its way to you somehow. This may sound like wishful thinking to you, but follow me for a walk and you'll see what I mean. Wishful thought frequently entails fantasizing and yearning without any conscious effort or purpose. It's equivalent to tossing a coin into a fountain and waiting for a miracle to happen without taking an active part in the act of creation. The law of assumption, on the other hand, is a deliberate, conscious action. It involves adopting a mindset and feeling the feelings connected to the intended result. It's an active interaction with the universe's creative forces rather than a passive one. Thoughts of change may make you long for it, but the law of assumption gives you the power to create your own reality. It's about setting out and navigating the waters of your assumptions, not about waiting for your ship to dock. As we go deeper, you'll see how the rule of assumption goes beyond wishful thinking and offers a concrete way to bring your desired world into reality. Let's now determine the precise use of the law of assumption in your day-to-day activities. You may be aware of the general idea, but how can you really put these ideas into practice? We're making progress. Making your desires clear should come first. Start by outlining your desires in detail. Being particular will strengthen the impact of your assumptions, whether your desires are related to your profession, relationships, or personal growth. Developing the practice of jotting these things down is something I would advise. Writing things down, no matter how they look, a notebook, to-do list, mind map, or vision board, helps you stay focused and committed to your objectives. The second step is to formulate positive, present-tense affirmations that represent your desires coming true. For instance, declare, "I am successful and fulfilled in my career," rather than, "I will be successful." The third strategy is visualization. Practice it frequently, close your eyes, and see in vivid detail scenes where your goals have already come true. One of the main obstacles that people encounter when putting these methods into practice is accurately envisioning their assumption. God had repeatedly emphasized how powerful it was to experience images firsthand. When you visualize, you should perceive the world as if it were your own, losing yourself in the specifics and feelings of the imagined reality. Consider yourself living the life you want to live, rather than concentrating on the process. Whether it's success in your work, a satisfying relationship, or plenty of money, picture the perfect ending. During visualization, use all of your senses to experience the sounds, textures, and feelings that go along with the reality you want to create. Neville stressed how important it is to include as many senses as possible in your visions. The first-person perspective is number 4. Consider things from the first person as you visualize. In your imagined scenes, see the world as you see it. This gives the event a more immersive quality and personal touch. The secret is feeling, which is number 5. Pay attention to the sentimental underbelly of your presumptions. Experience the feelings that come with having your desires fulfilled. The more sincere and strong the feelings, the more successful the assumption will be. The vibrational language used to connect with the universe is called feeling. Goddard underlined that feeling as though your wish has already been accomplished is just as important as simply thinking about it. Many people may find this difficult to understand, not because it is hard, but rather because it appears a little lackluster. Experience the happiness and security that come with financial independence if you aspire to financial wealth. Immerse yourself in the comfort and fulfillment of being loved if that is what you seek. Your assumptions are drawn into your lived reality by the magnetic pull of your feelings. Feeling is more than just an afterthought. It is the unidentified component that speeds up the manifestation process. Making a mental script is step 6. Create a mental narrative that portrays your life as you would like it to be. Visualize every scenario clearly and write the dialogue and action as though they were taking place right now. The 7th rule is to live to the very end. Accept the idea of living life to the fullest. Presume that your wishes have already been granted. Assume that your existing reality is the same as your intended world while making decisions. Repetition and consistency rank 8th. It's important to be consistent. Make sure to visualize and repeat your affirmations on a daily basis. Rewarding your assumptions consistently helps to fortify the neural circuits connected to them. The foundation of the law of assumption is consistent assumption. It's not a passing idea or a transient conviction. It's a persistent and steadfast adherence to the belief that your dreams are already coming true. God had made it clear that perseverance is not the same as desperate waiting. It involves firmly and unwaveringly assuming that the wish is being granted, despite any indications from the outside world to the contrary. Having positive self-talk is number 9. Keep an eye on your inner monologue. Your inner critic may occasionally be impeding your progress. Perhaps it states that you are not allowed to do or be a specific way. It might be telling you that you're not deserving or good enough. In any event, you have to make an effort to replace any uncertain or negative ideas with affirmations that are constructive and reinforce your conscious assumptions. Confident self-talk helps you maintain the beliefs you want. Detachment from the means is number 10. Give up clinging to particular channels or methods for achieving your goals. Have faith that the universe will satisfy your expectations in ways that may be beyond your comprehension. God had made it clear how important it was to step back from the details of manifestation. This idea is having faith that the universe will provide the means, often in ways that surpass your current comprehension, to realize your assumptions. It's crucial to understand that this distance is a result of a strong belief in the universe's innate intelligence rather than apathy. It permits your presumptions to reveal themselves in ways that may exceed your first anticipations. The 11th step is to review and reflect. Consider your presumptions on a frequent basis. If you see any ideas or beliefs that don't correspond with your preferred reality, make the necessary revisions. A useful technique for forming your presumptions is revision. In the law of assumption, God had presented the idea of modifying assumptions as a potent instrument. You have the creative capacity to change and refocus your attention if your present presumptions conflict with your goals. Revision means going back on previous beliefs, occasions, or experiences and mentally changing them. You may change the way the past affects your present and future by changing your perception of it. Never forget that the aim is to always design the best life you can have. The last tip, number 12, is to show thankfulness. Feel thankful for the anticipated manifestations as though they have already happened. Gratitude strengthens the influence of your presumptions by bringing your energy into harmony with a positive frequency. Consider all of this as a script for your life. You take on the role of the author, purposefully shaping the story rather than allowing it to develop in an unpredictable way. To connect with your wants on a conscious level, you need to have a keen awareness and a strong commitment. Goddard underlined that the law of assumption relies heavily on consciousness. Your assumptions have a greater influence on your reality the more deliberate and conscious you are of them. Now that we have discussed the fundamental ideas of the law of assumption and practical procedures for application, we may encounter obstacles and skepticism while attempting to apply it. Let's talk about a critical component of the manifestation process: overcoming obstacles and doubts. Recognizing frequent doubts is the first step towards overcoming skepticism. It's normal to have reservations about a concept as revolutionary as the law of assumption. Common doubts can include doubting the veracity of presumptions, speculating on the viability of manifestation, or being dubious about the function of emotions. How can you look beyond this? First of all, you have to understand that this idea is about actively engaging with the universe. You can influence the course of events by putting out strong signals by presuming a preferred reality. By doing this, you are communicating to the universe that you are open to possibilities, and that the law of assumption is not a specialized idea. It is a universal principle that is independent of personal convictions. Numerous testimonies from a range of backgrounds confirm its effectiveness. When people intentionally assume the reality they want to experience, they have seen transformational transformations. Therefore, the idea also makes use of the strength of emotional alignment. An important factor in the manifestation process is emotion. The law of assumption recognizes that feelings are strong forces that mold our experience, rather than only being reactions. You can attract your desires by creating a vibrational match between your emotions and the expected reality. We cannot stress enough how important consistency and patience will be on this adventure you are about to undertake. The law of assumption is a process rather than an instant solution. The secret to opening the manifestation process is to make a consistent and persistent assumption. Although one may have doubts, assuming the best serves as a constant beacon that leads one through difficulties. Above all, you need to develop the ability to set reasonable expectations. Persistence's companion is patience. Not every manifestation follows our planned schedules. Promote a practical perspective on the manifestation process, keeping in mind that everything happens according to divine time. The law of assumption is about faith and steadfast confidence, not about rapid satisfaction. In the end, if you so choose, this law and its tenets have the capacity to alter your life. Begin by taking a moment to contemplate and genuinely observe your life as a whole. What is your desire, and how can you make assumptions about reality to make it happen? We hope that after seeing this video, you have some answers. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the video if you appreciated it and would like to learn more about topic. I'll see you in the following.